What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Here we are, back for another live stream. This is we've done 2 this month, but this was a perfect time to get one in, and we figured since everyone's doing their top 5 lists, top 5 favorite films or whatever of 2022, you know, why not join in on the festivities, even though we cover more films that have didn't come out in 2022 than we do in 2022. We did have a lot of fresh cuts last year, though, meaning we did cover a little bit of some 2022 films, and we have a couple like full-length episodes, so it's exciting. This was hard, and to be honest, I might have to switch around some things on my list because I'm thinking of movies in my head that I didn't put on my list, and I'm like, huh, I definitely got to put that higher than this movie.
I did a little bit of that shuffling. Literally right before we started.
It's so hard.
There's no way that movie's better. There's no way.
There's so many great movies out there, and a lot of great movies came out in 2022. The thing is we will only be the only movies that can be on our list are movies we've actually seen. We can't just like put random movies from 2022 that might be, you know, huge, that a lot of people are putting on their list. If we didn't see it, it's not going on the list because it just doesn't make any sense. So like I saw, you know, I've seen some movies in 2022 that Dan and Angela didn't see, so of course they're not going to have that movie on the list. So that's just how it's going to go.
Oh my gosh, I just blanked one.
But yeah, so before we get into all that, you okay, Dan?
It's over.
Dan's in pain. I don't know if he's gonna be okay.
The list is over. I just pushed myself.
The list.
You can change it.
You can. It started. That's cheating.
What are you talking about? I just said that I might have to switch some things around.
It's like you're going to the teacher, like, test's over. Like, no, I want to erase that bubble and put it on C. No.
We're gonna do top 5s, but of course we're gonna, you know, if we have some honorable mentions, if we have like 6 through 10, you know, we can discuss the movies that didn't quite make the cut, because like I said, there was a lot of good movies that came out in 2022, and it's so hard to like put. I know my number 1 was easy because I had been talking about which one was my number 1 every time it's mentioned, and I can't wait to do a full-length episode on it. It is a movie that we did a fresh cut on, so, but that's all you're gonna get. I'm not gonna spoil it yet until we get to number 1s. So before we get into all that,
I can't see it.
I do have some things I want to talk about. We did release an episode today. It is Friday, which is our release day. We released our
Allegedly.
Yes, we released our 90th episode of the show, which is just bonkers to me that less than 2 years ago, I started this thing, brought you guys on it as a guest, and 90 episodes later, you guys are still here. I don't know why, but you guys decided you wanted to still hang out with me. So
okay,
thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for offering, and thank you for having us. Thank you for asking us. Thank you for keeping us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
once we hit 100, I think I got a jet though.
Yeah, well, no, I was like, once 99 comes out, like I'm out. Like I can't do the 100. I can't deal with that. Like,
it's like when someone doesn't want to come back for a sequel, so you got to find.
Yeah.
So like when you guys decide you need to you know, do something else, I just have to find people that look similar to you.
We'll just clone ourselves.
Yes, please.
Let's hope that time doesn't come. Don't scare me like that.
No, I ain't going nowhere.
But yeah, we released our 90th episode today. Which we talked about a movie that's gonna be on, at least it's gonna be on my list somewhere. I'm not gonna say where, but we released our episode on Everything Everywhere All at Once with our good friend Gerald from 2 Peas on a Podcast, who was a spectacular host and is a legend of the podcasting world himself. He's been doing it a long time, and he does a great job. He actually specializes in what we're doing today, which is doing a top 5 list. That is what his show is, and he does a lot more talking about the movies that we're going to be talking about, where we talk more about movies that have been around for a while. So it's nice to have that variety.
That's the best ones, because I mean, I like talking about new movies too, but like ones that have been able to seep like steep in the stew for a while.
Yeah.
Especially when people don't talk about.
He also, I mean, I'm not saying that's all he talks about. He does top 5 lists on anything. As I have stated before, I've been on Two Piece on a podcast talking about Steven Spielberg films, which Steven Spielberg is my favorite director. So it was an absolute blast to be able to talk about those movies. And if you guys, I mean, you guys should listen to the episode, but also you probably could guess what my number 1 was.
No.
And maybe my number 2.
Yeah. No idea.
Maybe. I want to, if he ever invites me on the show,
He
not
is.
movie related.
He
but
is.
Top five snack cakes.
Oh, I can
Ooh.
do that one.
Top
I'm
5
all for that
snack
one.
cakes you have to eat while watching a movie.
Oh, dude, please.
Tim is here. Oh my God. It's like we're back in 2020 when I used to stream a lot and this guy used to come in and scream at me. Tim, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in, my friend. I put the chat on the wrong side of my screen, so it's all the way over here and I don't like it.
I didn't do the thing.
I know.
I do. It's not a regular episode. It's not the
I know,
regular intro. I didn't feel prompted.
I know. I don't know how to intro these live streams, so I'm just like, I'll just intro them like I do the podcast. Because it's just another podcast if you think about it. We're just live. But yeah, very excited to talk about.
Tell them you have COVID.
How are you guys? My wife
Why?
said, tell them I have COVID. You have COVID, Tim? Well, get better, man. Rest up. I'm glad I hope you're sitting, you're laying down nice and comfy, got a nice blanket on, and wherever you're watching us, hope you're relaxed.
Yeah, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, that too.
But you get better.
I
Seriously.
think it's pretty much gone through his whole household at this point.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's done
terrible.
ours
I
twice.
need to put this over here. I can't see fucking anything. I'd be able to look over and see chat like right here instead of it being like,
Chat, what are you doing back there?
Where are you?
Wander halfway across the screen. Yeah.
where'd you go? All
Put
right.
your binoculars on. And...
Also, we did release our 90th episode and we got more good news. We hit 10,000 downloads on the podcast. 10,000. I still can't fathom that number. It's wild. It's, our original goal was to try to hit it before the beginning of the year, but I was like, you know what? I'm good where we are, of course. Always happy with the numbers that we're getting, and got it way earlier than I thought. And I appreciate everybody who downloads the show because you keep us going and keep us, wanting to do this and talk about movies. I mean, I always want to talk about movies even when we're not doing the podcast, but that's neither here or there. Woo! 10,000 downloads.
I'm glad we hit it.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was glad we hit it before episode 100. So that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I just, this is my PSA for people who are getting into the podcasting world, because when, me and my brother first started this back in April of 2021, we didn't release an episode on a podcasting service until about a month into the show. So like our first, you guys were on a pretty good amount of episodes in the beginning before you guys actually became the co-hosts. But I didn't release those Monsterverse episodes on a podcasting service until we had recorded Godzilla versus Kong. And then I said, well, I might as well get them so people can listen to them, because they was just streaming them. And then I was just like, man, that's it. You didn't watch the stream, you're screwed. And
That would suck.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I remember releasing the episodes on, I put them on Podbean and then, putting them on all the streaming services. And so our first one came out in May, or I released all 4 of them in May. So from May to December, the total number of downloads was like 850, which is a lot, which was good. But that was from May to December. This month alone, we're almost at 1,100. So just keep on working, keep on be passionate about it. Don't give up. Like if things don't seem like they're going in the right direction, like if you're going to have bad months, I don't want to say bad months. I want to say you're going to have some down months where the numbers just aren't going to be, where you might envision them to be. Like you're like, well, if I got, this much this month, I should be able to get more the next month. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. But you just have to have the passion. You just got to keep trucking, because looking at those two things for us, it's like, well, if I had just quit at the end of 2021 because I just didn't feel like the show was growing, we would have missed out on all the fun we had in 2022 up until now. Sure. So
yep.
Thank you all for making that a reality. And guys, we are this much closer to that Patreon starting. I told you guys the middle of February is probably when we're going to release it, and I'm going to try to keep my word.
Middle of February 2025, guys.
Yes. Yes, guys.
Patreon, please.
Just keeps on getting pushed and pushed and pushed.
Yeah.
No, but it's gonna happen. We gotta have our sit down and talk about the content we're going to be putting out there for the first month. Unfortunately, I mean, it is, well, actually, we'll try to aim for the beginning of March, because I know the way that Patreon works is people get charged in the first of the month. It's not like,
yeah, it's always on the first you get hit.
Yeah, so if anything, we're going to get it released by the 1st of March, so that if anyone were to pay for it, they're not getting screwed like halfway through February and then having to pay again at the beginning of March. So I'm gonna work all that out. We got some ideas in our heads and just gotta record stuff and get that content out to you, and talk to other people who have Patreons to help us out, because I don't know anything.
Yeah, I
literally know nothing about Patreon other than I'm subscribed to people on Patreon. That's about it.
Yes.
But so that is enough talking about ourselves, even though I am proud of us, and I'm proud of.
Where's the link?
Where's the link to our Patreon? I don't have one yet because I haven't made it yet.
It's not there.
You will all know when the Patreon is live. Don't you worry. All right. Oh God, I'm looking at my list right now and I feel like I made a mistake.
I've changed it like 2 or 3 times.
Oh man.
I'm set. No, I'm good, dude. Like, I'm seeing you. She's always like frantic and she's sweating and shit. Like, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. This will never work.
He's over here like smacking my hand. I'm like, stop it.
Only thing. It's just a picture of Parker's toe. Like
all right. I think I'm gonna have to switch something, but I'm not gonna add it to my list. Where's the OnlyFans link?
After the video, at the end, and the after party.
Can't speak about that on YouTube. So let's get this started. I don't know. We're not big enough. We're not big enough on YouTube for us to be affected, anyways. Even if we couldn't.
There's a lot of stuff that you can't say.
There's lots of you can't do. Hey, I can get all this off YouTube real fast.
Let's not do that. Not tonight.
Stop it.
All right, guys, let's get this party started with our number.
All right, hang on.
All right.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Down, boy.
Damn.
Video for viewers. There's a.
Well, damn.
And right across them.
All right. So.
Oh!
Darren.
It's my soul
Oh,
partner.
Darren, don't you worry. We have another list for that one. That goes on a different list.
We were talking about that shit. There's no fucking way.
That'll
Okay,
go.
so since I've been called out, I won't. I was
Don't
gonna.
tell. No.
I would no. I was.
Looking at you. Oh, I missed that part.
See, I was gonna trick you guys and say that my number 1 was Jurassic World Dominion, just to make him mad.
Listen, by the time this is all over, Darren is going to be a happy man. I'm not going to spoil why, but...
Okay. I'll mark it out.
Did you really have it on your top 5?
So bull crap.
Yeah, I had it as number 1.
No, you didn't.
It's written down on my paper.
You had Dominion as your number 1? I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted you to keep that. That would have been a great end of the show. Why did you... Oh, Angela, you ruined it.
He called me out. He knows my tricks.
Oh, Lord.
I was just gonna do it. I was just gonna do it to trick him.
Oh, okay. That's good. Just so you have a real number one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. Oh, you have faith in us, boy. That might be a mistake. All right. Well, let's start with our number 5, and we're going to start with Angela. Angela, give us your number 5, and why is it your number 5? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to say what your movie is, talk about why you like it, talk about a little bit about it, and then we'll move on to the next person. And we're just each going to do our 5s, and then we'll go to our 4s, and all that stuff.
I didn't know we were gonna have to talk about it. Now I have to remember what I've watched.
I know, right? I thought we were just gonna copy shit off the internet and just regurgitate that. Like, we didn't have to have an original idea.
This is what a prepared podcast looks like.
Hey, I literally just made my list like as we were sitting here.
I had to go for like
It's been a
while.
Hey.
So long.
No, my number 5 is Violent Night. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I loved everything about it. Fights. Some of the crappy. Would you money out of? What is wrong with you?
Serious face.
See, I have to hold his hand and baby him.
I go to the bathroom, mommy.
Oh
Like
Lord.
fast.
Oh Lord.
Where's this going? Just carry on. This is going way too far.
Yeah, because of you. No. I just love the whole movie.
I thought it was great. It was a great. I mean,
great.
it's not on my list. It might be actually I'd say it's probably between my 6 and 10 for the year, for at least the things I've watched. But
You've watched a lot more than we have, though.
Yeah. The only thing that doesn't make it higher on the list is the other David Harbour carries this movie. David Harbour and the little girl carry the movie, and everyone else is just kind of blah. And that's what kind of puts it down on my list. Like, it's a really fun movie, but those extra I could not stand John Leguizamo in this movie. Like, he's just too much of a generic, like, rah-rah bad guy, and it was annoying.
But all the kills in it were so good. So good.
Good times.
Good times. Great oldies.
Yeah.
All right, Dan.
It was cool. Anyway, yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hi, what's your...
Give us your number 5.
Okay, number 5 was a last minute adjustment because that's the one that I was literally having a crisis about at the beginning of this podcast /stream.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
That is true.
My number 5 is one of 2 films I'm cheating onto this list.
Cheating?
Yes. This film was actually not released originally this year, but it was released domestically this year.
Which is fine. It counts.
Yes, it counts. Fuck yeah, it does. Bend those rules. It was Dragon Ball Superhero.
There you
I
go.
fell asleep during that one.
Yeah, you did. You fall asleep during a lot of movies.
I do.
So you can't use that as a barometer. It's cool. Like, I've been a Dragon Ball fan since forever. It was neat to see a new movie in theaters. I'm still kicking myself for not seeing the last one in theaters, which is one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. But this one was really good. English voice cast was fun. Looked like they had a good time with it. It was short movies, like an hour and a half. We watched it in theaters. It's good stuff. I did.
You can't sit in comfy chairs.
You can't sit in any chairs.
Apparently I can.
But yeah, good movie. If you haven't seen it, go check. Well, I think it's gonna be released on Blu-ray in the States in March. It only did like a week. It was like kind of like Shin Ultraman. It was like a week theatrical run, but that was less. Yeah, it was great.
All right.
Definitely worth seeing. Fun action movie if you're into that kind of anime stuff.
So I have to I am moving my number 5 down to number 6 and squeezing this movie into my number 5 because I had a blast with this movie. I saw it 4 times, and that is Prey.
There you go.
Would disregard this very wonky visual effects on certain scenes of that movie. The performances were spectacular. This Predator was in my I love this 87 Predator, but this is my favorite Predator. Like, I love this whole story. Amber Midthunder's a badass throughout the entire thing. And yeah, it's one of those movies you could just throw on at any time and have a good time with it. It's a very rewatchable movie, and I feel that has to be a thing to make a case to be on my top 5. It has to be rewatchable. If it's not rewatchable, if it's a really good movie, which this is why I had to move my original number 5 down, which we'll talk about when we get to honorable mentions. But I just love Prey. I think I saw it like 3 times in a week because I watched it originally when it came out, and then I think I watched it at the beginning of a week, and then we decided to cover it on the show, so I had to watch it. I was like, well, I don't know what, it's an excuse to watch it again. Got to keep going. But yeah, I can't wait to see more stories like this in the Predator universe. And to be honest, I'd love to see someone like this like in the Alien universe. I think this would be a great idea for something like that as well. One thing I love about you guys, no other list would bother including anime as part of their top films list. Well, you're talking to Dan and Angela here, so they're going to put some movies on there that nobody will put on their list.
I feel like that's supposed to be like a compliment, but I feel like it's somewhat condescending like toward me. Because it's like, you guys are like, listen to our opinion on movies, and I'm over here like fucking playing with like letter blocks. Like, I like shiny stuff, you know. But anyway, thank you, Derek.
Oh Lord. I have a copy of Prey, but it's in Comanche and doesn't include subtitles. Wait. Yeah, please. Nice. Can they release this movie on Blu-ray? I want the 4K Blu-ray of this movie. I want it. I want it so bad, Hulu. Give it to us. But that's awesome. I mean, it sucks you don't have any subtitles, but that's really cool to have. Okay. Let's get to our number 4s. Angela, give us our number.
I have Prey as number 4.
Heck yeah! Let's go.
No condescension intended.
I don't think you did, but that's how I read it. I was like, no, you're good, dude. You're good.
All right, well, that was easy.
We've already talked about it.
Well, I didn't know if you had anything to add.
No.
Like sprinkles on top of it.
I mean, you can talk about why you like it.
I love the design of everything. I love that they included the Comanche language in it, that they released it as such. I love that inclusive of things that other people might not include or think about. And I think it's great.
It's Victor.
They're upstairs.
Okay, I was making sure they're going to answer the door, though.
Oh, no.
I'll be right back.
That's okay.
Keep adding it out. Do the trick with the
I'll
plates.
read your
No. That's mine.
Actually, since Dan's everybody, we're gonna take a really quick break while Dan walks away. I'm gonna go. Might as well go get a drink. So we'll be back.
Get another drink. Hey, I feel I'm all alone. Hi. I'll carry this by myself. I don't know if you can hear me. Ha! He's gone. And I was alone!
Yeah! Do.
Nah, you're muted.
That's right, you can't sing shit.
That was that was quick. I'm gonna have a truly mango chili margarita style hard seltzer.
Oof, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's been in my fridge for a while, so we'll see how that goes.
Makes me think of the pickle beer that they were drinking on there. On the fucking,
on movie. And funny thing is you're telling me about their live stream. That was their last live stream. You did watch it live.
No, I didn't watch it live. I watched
you guys made it sound like you watched it live, and so I thought I missed their live stream, and I'm looking all over there. I'm like, there was no live stream. I watched that live stream, and I was like, wait, what?
No, I just
showed it to me.
I was listening to the podcast. I was like listening to the podcast. I was like, listen
oh
to this,
Lord,
I was trying to get caught up on people.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you. Okay, so is my number 4?
Yes.
Myself, and I was like.
So Angela said her number 4 was Prey. So Dan,
yes,
it is now your turn for number 4.
So number 4 of the list is Prey.
Really?
Ironically.
Yes, wow.
Really, yeah, so I like, okay, so this is why I like it, because you're taking, as you mentioned before, Parker, you're taking this franchise and you're putting it in an alternate time, not alternate time, but a different time. Not like, I've never seen this movie, but I'm assuming it's not as great, all that great. Tremors set in the Wild West, but you're actually doing it like...
You've never seen Tremors?
No. The one set in the Wild West.
Oh, was that Tremors 4 or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I've seen the first two. I'm good after that. I'm good with
God
those.
damn. Guess what,
let's
guys? We're
cover
covering Tremors this year.
that. But yeah,
set in.
I like.
Kept.
Yeah, I like how they did that. I like the characters in it. You know, especially the main characters, not the villains so much. The Predator was cool. I like the hunt scenes that took place. I like the slightly different technology it used because it's slightly older. He fucking wrestles a bear.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking takes that bitch. Like, it's not even like Grizzly Adams fighting a bear. Like, he fucking owns that dude.
Yeah.
Like, breaks him in half. The ending fight's cool. I like how they actually let her play to her strengths in that final fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry guys, you just said we've talked about it before, so I don't give a shit about spoilers. Yes, Darren, but it was a good movie. It was great. I like the characters. It was really fun. Yeah, there you go. Number 4, Number Banana.
Yeah, and since we're talking about Prey, make sure to go check out. We did release a full episode of the podcast talking about Prey, so make sure to go check that out. Don't ask me what number it is because I can't remember any of the numbers for the podcast, other than the fact that we talked about it in length. All right, now it's my turn for number 4, and my phone decides to turn off, so now I gotta open it back up. All right, my number 4 is a movie about a man who loses his parents in an alleyway and has to become a symbol. My number 4. Angela's face was like,
no.
My number 4 is the Batman.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry.
I
was way off. Same start. I was.
This is one of the best Batman movies ever made. Robert Pattinson, very much like, I feel when Robert Pattinson was announced to be Batman, it was very similar to what people were reacting to it, like what Heath Ledger being announced as playing the Joker. Like, it was very much like, because back then it was like, oh, you mean the guy from Brokeback Mountain is going to be the Joker? And like, or this is like, oh, you mean Twilight sparkly vampires going to be Batman? Guess what? Robert Pattinson kills it as Batman, and Paul Dano as the Riddler, this very intricate, like, he's very different from the Riddler that we've seen in live action with Jim Carrey in Batman Forever, or even in the comic books. And he's such a badass. He wrote a comic about that Riddler that you can buy. It's called Riddler Year One, and I really need to pick up a copy of it. So, like, Paul Dano, you're a badass. Yeah, the Gotham just feels dark and grimy.
Feels like Gotham. Feels good. Doesn't feel like Chicago or whatever the fuck it was.
It feels like what you would imagine Gotham City to be.
Yeah.
The Batmobile is the coolest, one of the coolest Batmobiles ever put on screen. That car chase with, I mean, Darren, I'm not spoiling it. It's in the goddamn trailer. So the Batmobile chase scene on the highway, it's one of the coolest shots that I've seen in a movie in a very long time. It's just so good. And yes,
elevator theme.
Oh, the elevator scene. The fact that it's a almost 3-hour movie.
Every time I get chills with that
It's
elevator
so good.
scene. Every time.
Fucking tasty.
I just got chills just thinking about
I'm
it.
just glad I'm not standing up right now. Jesus.
I have seen it 4 times. Saw it in theaters.
That's a lot.
And then I saw it when it came to HBO Max. And I'm very disappointed in myself. I have not bought the 4K Blu-ray yet. I will be getting that. To be honest, I'm very upset that my number 1 I don't own physically yet, but I will. But yeah, the Batman is phenomenal. It's an almost 3-hour long. It's pretty much a 3-hour long movie that doesn't feel like it's 3 hours, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole way. It's a great. It shows Batman being a detective, being what he was described as in the comics, and yeah, this movie's great. And to be honest, I am one of the few people, probably, because I know a lot of people were just like, oh, it didn't need to be in there. But Barry Cohen or whatever his name, when they're teasing him as the Joker, I was like, give it to me. I don't care that we've had all these Jokers. Listen, he doesn't even have to be the main villain. I will take it. And
Yeah,
Barry
please.
Cohn, I can't remember. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Kogan, or he was in Banshees of Inisherin this past year, which was a really good movie too. Not on my list, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to see what he could do with the Joker, and I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do in Batman 2, because Matt Reeves, chef's kiss on Batman. So that's my number 4. All right. Said Pattinson, Bale, and Keaton are the only actors brave, talented enough to correctly play Bruce Batman as a broken, neurotic psychopath. That's 12 hours. It is. I love it.
Darren.
I love it so much.
I'm going to give my prediction. Darren, whenever you get around to actually watching this, you're going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm very Darren is one of like when it comes to like opinions on movies, I take his into consideration over a lot of people. Like when I always want to know what Darren's opinions are on a movie. And even if I don't agree with him, which, you know, Darren makes a lot of points that I may not agree with, but you know what? I respect the hell out of him because he's a very smart person, a lot smarter than me. So I respect it. All right. Number 3, Angela, hit us.
Werewolf at Night.
Ooh.
Or Werewolf by Night. Sorry.
All right.
By Night.
All right.
I was
we'll
writing this
accept
as
that.
we were talking. As we were talking. So, what? Do you have a problem with my number 3?
No, not at all.
Face,
It's
like,
giving you some sass.
I love when movies are in black and white. I don't know why I'm so drawn to that. I loved the way it was shot, the way it felt, how it felt older than it was. I mean, it came out in 2022 and was shot to be like the 50s movies.
Yep. 40s, 30s, 40s,
yeah.
50s.
Mm-hmm.
Love the monster.
Shout out to Ted.
Shh. Shh. Zip it.
Carry on.
This is my talking.
I know, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I just all around thought it was a great movie.
And the exciting thing about the director, Michael Giacchino, or Giacchino, however you say it, he was
I've heard it both ways.
He's a composer. Composed a lot of movies. He actually composed the Batman, and he is actually Dave. We talked about it on an episode. He is the one who's going to be helming the is it they or them?
Them.
Yeah, the them remake from the movie from the 50s. So that's exciting. And to be honest, the way that he was able to, make this. I mean, this wasn't a full-length movie. It was only like an hour long. But I think his style of directing and the way that he was able to make that a success, it's definitely a comic property that's not hugely popular, at least not to me. I didn't know much about it until this was talked about being made, and then it started, like, of course, videos all over the place talking about Werewolf by Night. But yeah, he did a great job, and all the performances are great.
My biggest experience, my first experience with Werewolf by Night is literally when I used to thumb through long boxes of bulk comics, and I would see one in there every once in a while. I didn't know anything about the character.
I am very kind. I'm very kind. I try to be, at least. Werewolf by Night, best, most stylish, most fun MCU project in decades. I agree. It's one of it. To be honest, when you talk about all the MCU movies that came out in 2022, or maybe in the last like few years, Werewolf by Night is like top tier in my opinion.
It's really good.
I mean, yeah, like I said before, it's not a full length movie, but it just did what it needed to do, and it got to the point. And the black and white definitely adds a great little addition to that. Wait, years, not decades. I am very bad at math.
It happens.
Decades. Wait, what year are we in, guys?
Right?
Oh, all right. So Angela, for her number 3, picked Werewolf by Night. Dan, give us your number 3.
Yes, I gladly will. I did not mention this prior to, but Werewolf by Night and Violent Night are like just barely edged out of my list.
You suck.
No, I didn't.
I mean, it's not on my list, so
as
much as I love it.
I got another one here, and it's a movie she fell asleep in.
Another movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna point out all the movies I fell asleep.
I love you. I love it. I think it's adorable.
I can't help it that we go watch movies at 7 p.m. after I've worked all day and I'm tired.
Well, good. I got another example of that. Number 3 is Shin Ultraman.
Ooh, I knew you were gonna put this on the list. I did.
Oh,
I didn't know where, but I figured you would.
I had to. It was, as someone who's a fan of the original series, which all this is literally taking a chunk of the original series, condensing it down to a movie, and just offering it as a modern retelling. And the thing I like about this is, unlike some modern retellings, the people actually gave a shit when they made it. Personally, that's how I feel. I mean, I'm sure other people do. It's just the projects don't go with the ride, or don't come out well, or they're not well received by the audience, whatever. But it was cool. It was I loved the characters. I did watch the English version because I had my kids with me. If not, I would have watched it subtitled. I would have preferred to have seen it that way. But the English cast was okay for the most part. I loved the story. I loved the nods. It was very self-referential. Even poked fun at itself, which was great. Definitely put a much more modern spin on it. I will tell you, before anybody asks me if I had to pick this, we have covered Shin Godzilla. I like Shin Godzilla better as a film than I do this one, but this is still a very good movie.
And speaking of that, Darren just asked if we've seen it. We actually covered it on an episode, Darren. So go back and watch or listen to our episode about Shin Godzilla. Again, I couldn't tell you what number. It might be like 56, episode 56. This is why we should have done seasons, but I didn't think of it when we started the show. So seasons.
Right.
Right now.
Darren, Shin Godzilla, in my opinion, when it came out, was the best Godzilla film in 25 years. But back to Shin Ultraman. The effects were good. They did a lot of redesigns for the different kaiju and the Seijin. And I just,
like how they said.
Except for Zeton. I did not like the way Zeton looked. But he did the noise and the thing. So it was fine.
Trouble with him, like, who is that again? And then I'm like, oh.
Are you talking about with Zarab or Mephiles?
Yeah. Oh,
The one with the hollow back?
They call him something.
Zarab.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's Zarab. Anyway, that's how I pronounce
That's
it.
okay,
But
Darren.
anyway,
It's okay.
Anyway, it's a fun movie. There's oddly a lot of butt slapping. That part I did not quite understand.
There was a lot of butt
character
slapping
trait.
in Shin Ultraman.
There was, and I don't know why.
Did Ultraman get his
But
butt slapped?
Surprised. Well, the guy that turns into Ultraman got a.
So explain to I know nothing about Ultraman other than I like his outfit. And isn't there like a character in the Godzilla universe who's very similar? Isn't his
Yes.
who like looks like Ultraman in a way?
Yeah, Jaguar.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Ultraman, for those that don't know, Japanese superheroes like Ultraman, Kamen Rider, stuff like that are like their equivalent to our comic book superheroes.
Okay.
So, Ultraman in the original series, essentially the Ultramen are like intergalactic peacekeepers. And it comes to Earth chasing another fugitive kaiju monster, Seijin. It's been interpreted slightly different a few times. And in the process of trying to hunt this thing down or get this thing back, it crashes on Earth, and Ultraman inadvertently kills a human, blah, 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 by mistake, because of just trying to find us. And he essentially offers himself to fill in that role, and he takes over the human's body and can transform into Ultraman at will, but can only do it for 3 minutes. So at any given time, it was Anyway, but that's the long and short of it. They're like intergalactic peacekeepers. But anyway, the movie was good. I enjoyed it. Fans of it might not like it as much, and again, Japanese pictures don't have the same hundreds of millions of dollar budget that American movies do. But it was very well made. I liked it, and it made me very happy as an Ultraman fan, or just a fan of kaiju in general, to see that and see it in theaters.
Darren,
Number 3.
Darren, there is. Sorry, go ahead, Tangela.
I didn't like some of the shots, the way they shot. Like, literally, there's some shots where you're looking up from somebody's crotch.
Yeah.
Like, from the side of their crotch and seeing other people. Or
Yeah, like
from
low shot.
their armpit.
That's Ano. That's Ano. I know. Well, actually,
how he does.
well, Shinji Higuchi actually directed this one, which is tied to this is the same people that made Evangelion.
Yes.
If you're into anime, it's the same people who were all involved. He didn't do this one. He did Shin Ultraman, but he was an executive producer.
But
So
I also didn't like the way they did some of the shots with the monsters because it looked too jerky and fake.
okay, that's fair. I think Godzilla looks better as animated. Yeah.
Oh, he's such a great
No,
design.
what was the one
Yes, partner.
at the plant?
Oh, the electric one that turns
Yeah.
invisible is Naranga.
Naranga.
Transparent kaiju
I
in
didn't-
manga. Yeah.
I didn't like the way he was moving didn't match up with the scene. Like you could tell he was like gliding and he
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
should so it threw me off a little bit.
That's fair.
So Darren,
Netflix was MVP.
there has been an idea thrown around when we were talking about starting the Patreon about doing a Patreon exclusive show where we go through the entirety of the Godzilla films, starting from the 54 movie. So it's an idea, and I'm very excited because you know Dan and Angela have seen all of them. I have not. I've seen maybe a very select few, and it's been a very, very long time. So it'll be fun. It'll be one of those. I think it'll be a very interesting show, being, people who are very knowledgeable about it, and then me, who's like the little kid with a lollipop, like, teach me, Dad.
Well, Darren, for the comments, I can't say it's the best since, because there's a lot of other ones I really like, but I think it's the best since Godzilla vs. Destroy. Easy. But yes, JJ is fucking awesome. Jock it made of steel.
Yeah, 100%. If we do that show, I would love to bring on other people from other podcasts. I know that Joe Lascola is a huge, I think he's a huge Godzilla fan, but I know he's big into Ultraman. He did go see Shin Ultraman. I saw it on Twitter.
He did.
But of course, bringing you on and other people who are into it. Sean might be too. I don't know. I wasn't sure.
Apparently, Tony is from Hack the Movies.
Yeah. Well, so Tony from Hack the Movies, who, like I said before, he's going to be on the show. He knows it. He just doesn't know when. But
he's got
his own show. Yeah, he's got a. It's like Catzilla and the Pod Monster is the name of the show. Yeah. So yeah, most likely we could get him to come on the show. But yeah, Shin Godzilla is Dan's number 3.
Ultraman.
I'm sorry, Shin Ultraman. My bad.
Okay.
We were talking about Godzilla. It just popped in my head. My number 3 was a movie that I was sold from the first teaser trailer, and when I went to go see this movie, it engrossed me, and just eeriness. Everything about this movie was shot. It was shot beautifully. The performances were great, and that would be Jordan Peele's Nope.
That's a cow. Or a horse, Horse.
It's a horse. Yeah, it's a horse.
Of course.
Yes.
50-50 chance of getting it right.
Jordan Peele, in my opinion, I have not seen Us, and I will admit it, I have not seen Us. I do own it on 4K back there, and I will watch it at some point, but I can't speak on that movie. I know that movie is probably his most divisive of the 3, but Get Out, it's a spectacular movie, and Nope does something that when somebody says it's Jaws but with like a UFO, I'm sold. You just say it's a movie like Jaws and I'd be like, I'm in. And it does. It has that Jaws feel to it where you only see glimpses of what the creature or whatever it is in the sky, and there's these side stories that all kind of intersect, and it's just eerie. And man, it's wild to think that the guy from Key and Peele is making movies like this, and he's just such a, in my eyes, I think he's a spectacular filmmaker. And he also was an executive producer for Wendell and Wild. He helped, he was behind that, which was also a really fun movie from 2022. Fortunately, it's not on my list, but it was still a lot of fun. But you guys haven't seen it yet, right?
What?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, you guys are going to see Nope very soon. It's great. The performances by Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer are amazing, and I don't know what else I can say about it I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I love this movie. It's so good, and what an experience it was to see it in theaters. I wish I could have seen it on IMAX, but unfortunately my town sucks. So, yeah.
That's fair.
My number 3
we can relate.
is Jordan Peele's Nope. Nope is legit terrific and pointed commentary on filmmaking and spectacle. Absolutely. I want to talk about it so much. I can't wait to do an episode on it. We're going to do an episode on it. Hope maybe this year, maybe next year. I don't know, but I can't wait to talk about it more. All right. We are now on to our number 2s. So Angela, hit us with your number 2.
Top Gun Maverick.
Hell yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to say that I haven't already said about this movie.
We did a video on it.
Yes, we did a video on it.
Relate to that.
You expect me to remember?
No, I'm telling these people. Like, go refer to that. There you go.
I mean, for as old as Tom Cruise is, he still looks great. Like, I mean, I want to look really good when I'm older.
When you're in your 60s.
When I'm in my 60s, which isn't far away.
Isn't far away. Jesus, how old do you think you are?
I'm almost 40.
That's fair, but that's still a good
you still
chunk
got
of time away.
you still got a few years.
But yeah, like there's still some scenes where I'm like, can we rewind that and watch it again? Like the training scene where they're weaving in and out of the
canyon.
In the canyon. So good. This was a movie. This was one I wish I could have saw in IMAX. This movie would have been insane in IMAX. I'm happy I got to see it in theaters, and I got to bring my oldest to go see it with me, and he loved it. He watched it. Then we got home, and I think he turned on the original to kind of get more of it. And then, of course, it dropped on Paramount Plus, and I think I watched it 2 more times, and then I'm like, well, I got to buy the 4K Blu-ray. I got to see how that thing looks.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I can't say much more about it than
Don't worry. I feel like we're going to be talking more about it very, very soon.
Uh-oh.
Dan.
What?
What's your number 2?
No, mine is also Top Gun Maverick.
Woo!
So this is coming from me. Is if you have listened to that episode, if you haven't, I mean, if you have, if not, I was not a fan of the original Top Gun until we watched it again and covered it for the show. We talked about the original Top Gun on the show.
Yes. And
then we went to see Maverick because I was like, okay, Angela wants to see it. I enjoyed the original on its second viewing, and this movie I was just expecting to go in like, oh, okay, this will be a fun, good movie. But I legitimately enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I ever would. I love how Maverick, Tom Cruise's character, was portrayed. I like how they brought back Iceman. I like that they brought back all the problems that he dealt with in the first one, about how he's still living with his regrets and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And oh God, what's his name? Rooster?
Goose.
Yes. Well, Rooster,
Rooster,
Goose's son. Yeah.
Goose's son. Yeah, Goose's son, and just all of that. And it's this really great thing about how they treated his character, how they were respectful to it. They were respectful to the source material. It still felt like Top Gun, even though it was a new movie. It still felt like that 80s movie. We still got the sweaty muscle football scene on the beach. It wasn't volleyball this time; it was football. And I just like all the jet scenes were great. A majority of it was filmed in real jets. They tried to minimize how much CG they used. It was the whole ending scene where they have to crash land and go through enemy territory. I was not expecting to get boots on the ground portion of this in the movie, and like just all that stuff. It was really well taken care play. I'm sorry, it was really well done. It was paced well. The writing was good. Bob was in it.
Bob.
Like 2 fucking lines.
Listen, the fact that it's Bill Pullman's son makes it even better.
Yes, and it's just in my mind, I still cannot get over how much I enjoyed that fucking movie. It was so good for me. Even though I didn't like it to begin with.
You've come a long way from the first time we ever watched it. I do remember I turned it on in the apartment that we lived in.
I know I fussed about it.
And he fussed the entire time.
I know. We talked about it when we talked about the original Top Gun.
The amount of times it was brought up on other episodes where there was we'd always joke around like, oh, we're going to cover Top Gun soon, and be like, fucking Top Gun. That's kind of like what
Yes.
anytime we talk about Rocky Horror Picture Show, that's what Dan's like.
One day.
That ain't gonna change my. That one, I assure you, will not change my opinion.
Come
You're gonna
on,
kiss
Tim
my ass.
Curry. Come on.
When,
I like Tim Curry, but not in that role.
when we cover that, just wait for my outfit.
No, listen. If we cover that, I want to fucking do Congo. Damn it.
Okay.
We're gonna cover Congo.
it was, yes. And if you've not seen Maverick, that movie did so much fucking bank,
Oh yeah.
and it was in the theaters for so
So
fucking long
long.
because nothing else nearly as good came out for the most part.
And
It
to
was
be
here for
honest,
like
that's
3
still a true
months.
fact. Like they could still probably make so much money if they stayed in theaters.
It's a
Yeah.
fucking good movie. Period.
It'll get re-released
Great
in
movie.
theaters.
Great
Yeah.
movie. But
So Darren, who said me watching the Batman 4 times is 12 hours. This man has seen Maverick an estimated 20 times.
allegedly, I think he's bolstering his numbers. Like,
And yes,
Like
I am very
seven-
jealous you saw it in IMAX. I have to drive
Like
like an hour to go to an
15
IMAX theater, and when I have 3 kids, it's kind of hard for me to be like, I'm going to go see a movie. I'll be
Darren's
back
like,
in
I've seen it.
4 hours.
right? Darren's like, I've seen it 7 times, but I'm just gonna round up to 20. I think it's close enough.
Like I
And
said,
I
it's late
wish I
entrance.
was able to join your watch party because I would have loved to hear your commentary.
Oh!
Shoney!
Oh, the party's here. Time to hit the band.
I know, right? Where have we been? No.
Pants off, pants off.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm not adding to this Top Gun Maverick number 2 party here. My number 2 is a little movie that we just released an episode on today.
I figured it was coming.
No, it's Fuck.
It's My Little Pony 2.
No, I was gonna say Return to Oz or some shit.
Oh Lord, that's a
The Wiz.
nightmare
The
fuel.
Wiz.
The Wiz. What's worse?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
To be honest, I completely forgot that movie came out in 2022. It's don't worry, it's not gonna be. No, it's not gonna be on my top 10.
Shit on this
Jesus. My number 2 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie blew my mind. I watched it on a plane. I was like, I need to watch something. And people have been talking about this movie, and you guys can hear me talk. You know, we just released an almost 2-hour episode on it today. To me, as confusing as it may be to some, to me, I get most of it, but it's just such a wild ride. You play into all these different emotions where you are watching this family going through some hard times, and then you are watching a fight where dudes are trying to get butt plugs inserted in them to activate superpowers. So,
Oh yeah, they were.
and yeah,
With ease.
the performances are spectacular. Michelle Yeoh, Ki Kwan, Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie Hsu. Fantastic performances. The sets were amazing for the minimum amount of people they had working on this movie. And the directors, watching the behind the scenes of this movie, the directors look like they are some of the most fun people to be around. And it seemed like everybody was having a great time making this movie. I mean, Michelle Yeoh is a legend. And to see her smiling and laughing and having a good time in these wacky scenes of her having fucking hot dog fingers, like, you can't ask for a better, like, for anything better than that. Like, this movie is a lot of fun, and I remember watching it the first time, like, will I ever rewatch this? And I rewatched it 2 more times. One time just on my own, and then of course I watched it again for the episode. But I hope it wins a lot of awards. I really want to see Ki Kwan win for Best Supporting Actor, even though I do want Brendan Fraser to win as well, even though I haven't seen the movie yet, but I heard he's amazing, and I love Brendan Fraser. But those two,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those two have to be pitted against each other, and it's oh no, he's going for Best Act. Brendan Fraser's going for Best Actor. They're not even in the same category. They both can win. But
Have a
yeah,
hot-
and James Hong is a legend. Man is 90 something years old, and he is
Almost
still killing
Yeah.
it.
He'll be 94 this year.
He's still killing it. Performances are spectacular across the board. Great movie. I mean, if I buy it, it means it's good. I mean, even though there are movies on that shelf that aren't very good, but That was before when I just would buy movies for no reason. But now,
$1 bit of Walmart.
Yep. So yes, Everything Everywhere All at Once is my number 2. Great to see so many Asian actors finally getting some Oscar love. Absolutely. I saw that Michelle Yeoh was the first Asian actress to be nominated for Best Actress. I was like,
really?
Oscars. That's a problem. That's a big problem. That's why
all those old ass white people out of
listen,
there.
I used to watch, me and my wife used to watch the Oscars religiously every year. Like that was a big deal. Like we would literally get very invested in it. I just can't do it anymore. Oh. I will watch this Oscars just because of all these nominations for this movie, Brendan Fraser and all that. Fraser. It's Fraser, not Fraser.
Rhymes with razor.
Right? Yes.
Did you watch the TikTok?
I did. I actually saw that TikTok before you sent it to me, and I still fuck up his name. I'm just jealous. They did a screening of The Mummy over in London, I think, and he was there to present. I was like, I would kill to go see The Mummy in theaters, and to have Brendan Fraser there presenting it.
Dude, you know what I'd do? If I was ever at a thing and he was presenting at the very end, I'd be like, hey, O'Connell, look who's got all the horses.
Hey, buddy. Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Dude, oh my God.
God, The Mummy
is
oh God, I love that movie so much. It's so good.
So good.
I guess the amount of times I typed that into my computer while editing that episode, so many times. Is the first film to feature an Asian actress in the lead, then right, Academy? It's wild. It's wild how the Academy does it. And fuck the Academy for not recognizing horror. Like, what the fuck are we doing? There was so many great listen, as much as so X and Pearl came out this year, Ty West's movies that he released, and Mia Goth was spectacular in both of them. More in Pearl because she was the lead and she had more to do, even though that movie is very divisive. I haven't seen Pearl yet, but I've heard no nomination. What are we doing? But yet somebody got nominated based off of a fucking campaign, like a grassroots campaign from a movie I didn't even know existed.
And that's what, like, they just...
That's what's just... The Oscar, to be honest, the Academy Awards are a joke, in my opinion.
All of it is.
But to be honest, I say that, but I really want these people to win because I want it to I just want to stick it to the Academy on how much they've fucked up over the years.
It's the process, dude. If you actively have any type of film you're like, we don't recognize this, then you're not covering everything. Yeah, that's not how that works. If it's a film, it's a film. You can't just ignore it.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't seen the Babadook, but I know that her performance was was amazing. You look at oh shit, what's the actress's name from Hereditary?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of her name either.
Why am I blanking? People, Darren, yell at me. I'm blanking so hard right now. She's great. Didn't know she was Australian, by the way. Toni Collette. Jesus Christ. She was in Krampus. We covered Krampus. Yeah. Oh no. But yeah, she should have got an Oscar nod for Hereditary. Another movie I've never seen, but I know her performance was amazing. I know that Florence Pugh, she's my girlfriend. She just doesn't know about it. And she should have got nominated for Midsommar. I love Florence Pugh. I love Florence Pugh. Yes, because I have a chance with Florence Pugh. Oh gosh. Listen, she's with the guy from Scrubs. All right.
I told Dan, I said if something ever happened to him, I was marrying Hugh Jackman. So
I'll marry Hugh Jackman.
Huge act, man.
I mean, he's good looking. He can act. He can sing. He was Wolverine. I mean,
and he's coming back as Wolverine.
So I'm out. Like, I have no chance at this point. Like, I get to pick one or two. I'm like, well, here's the ring because I got nothing on this dude.
Oh shit! All right,
you ain't going nowhere,
guys. We are now at our number ones. Angela, what is your number one?
I'm sure you can already tell by the face I made from earlier. I'm excited to see what your number one is, but my number one is Batman.
I am not mad about it.
He would do anything for Hugh Jackman, but he wouldn't do that.
For one, you know why I love the Batman? I love the Batman, but also I love the Batman because it is one of our most downloaded episodes of the show ever. So, but no, continue, Angela. Why the Batman?
But like we said earlier, I like how dark it is. It definitely feels like Gotham, what Gotham should be. I just think I'm getting chills again just thinking about the elevator scene.
So
It gives me chills every time.
the elevator into the hallway.
Lit by gunshots.
Like, I mean, even though you see that in the trailer, just seeing it actually in
Yeah, it's different.
in the
Because you
movie
just get like a snip.
different.
Mm.
I love the depiction of the Riddler. Like,
The Diddler.
no, that's a different character. that one is owned by Movie Dumpster TM.
Yes, that's correct. That is correct.
um,
Just a lawsuit already. Just a note comes under.
I just get a letter.
Cease and desist.
Sean just knocks on my door. How do you know where I live? I'm here to give you a letter, sir.
From the dumpster, I know everything. MDU connections.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. Every time somebody says Joe Lascola, I'm like, you can't.
It's one word.
It's one word.
It's one word.
It's always his name.
Joel Escola.
You cannot. I can't hear it any
We'll
other
accept
way.
hyphens, but it's connected. It's one thing. He was talking about how people call him Joel Lascola.
Yeah, you.
No, Joel Escola. It's one thing. It's one word. It's
You called him Joel in an episode because you were like, it's Joe? Is it Joel? And we're like, no, it's Joe.
Is that the first time
I
met
don't
him?
fucking remember what episode that was.
It probably
Was.
Full disclosure, I haven't checked out the Batman yet because I'm all Batman out at the moment. The discourse over Snyder's movies really killed my love for the character. Listen, I understand all the bullshit going around with the Snyder. Listen, as much as people can say they hate Zack Snyder, I like some of his movies. One of my favorite movies, one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time is a Zack Snyder movie. So I can't say I hate Zack Snyder, but I think it was time to step away, and I'm really interested to see what James Gunn does with the DCU. On that note, continue with your Batman talk.
I am pretty excited about that. I want them to have their day in the sun because it's been a while since they've had a.
I have words about that.
Well, it's been a while since they've had a run of more than one movie that did good.
Yeah.
Who? DC?
Yeah, like they need that.
No, they need to stop chasing. They need to stop chasing Marvels. They didn't fucking doing. They need to do their own
that
thing.
was their biggest issue. Was they were looking at Marvel going, oh, look what they're doing. Let's just try to copy them. But then they made them so dark, and I was like, why? They don't have to be this way.
Fine if you have a darker movie, but it's like they tried too fucking hard. They pushed too hard. Why is your sequel movie Batman versus fucking Superman?
I will stand by Man of Steel, though.
Man of Steel's good.
I like Man of Steel quite a bit. It has its problems, but it's still a fun movie.
Why do you choose your follow-up movie to Man of Steel, your second movie in your established universe, to be Batman versus Superman, where you're taking some of the best 80s comics ever, you're adapting part of that, and you're adapting the Death of Superman storyline and bringing fucking Doomsday into it? Which is, he killed Superman. I mean, Superman's died multiple times before that, but he killed Superman. It was a big fucking deal in the books. I remember it. It was a great series of books to read. But why would you do that as your second fucking movie?
Guys, we're in the car right now. We're just
I know, I'm sorry.
Venturing into oncoming traffic.
No, I would love to.
Damn it, I would stop saying it before.
I would love to see.
Man, I'm so hot right now.
Sorry, Gerald.
To see,
yes, thank you.
Robert Pattinson's Batman versus
Joel Escola?
No, Superman. But it's specific Superman. Oh, nah. And now I can't make.
Reeves?
No.
Specific Superman. I don't know what you're talking about. Like an actor or like a timeline.
Specific actor that did
It's
Superman.
Like, how many? Well,
Oh,
the dude. Oh shit. I'm lost.
I've lost it. I can see him, but I cannot think of his name.
Dan just leaves.
Oh, he's
Not about the cat.
Oh.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Cavill? Henry Cavill?
Yeah. No.
The
I mean,
Superman.
I like Henry Cavill as Batman or Superman, but
Ben Affleck.
not.
He did play Superman.
He did.
He technically
He did
did.
in Hollywoodland.
He did.
We'll
yeah.
we'll come back to that, but still, Batman's number 1. It's great. If you haven't, Darren, go fucking watch it.
Whoa.
Great.
Gerald is at work. Stop swearing.
Hey, listen, dude, you can't say so. Just turn the
Golly.
volume down. Turn the volume down.
Damn.
Just read our lips.
It's my favorite F word.
This is why we always state we are a not safe for work podcast.
Yeah. Second to food. But yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Who was that asshole that was Superman and I know. You know.
Gerald just turned it off. He's like, I can't watch this now. I gotta go. I'll watch it later.
It was a TV series.
Wait.
Was it Dean Cain?
Unfortunately,
Oh my
Gerald,
God.
it wasn't his favorite of the
Yes.
year, but it was my number 2. We're on our number 1s right now, but it was my
Sorry,
number
you know
2.
While you're looking that up, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you guys my number 1's the Batman as well. So we're just
All
gonna
right.
keep talking about
Yeah.
that.
All right, keep going. I'm cool
While
with this.
you're looking at, I will say I like this Batman. It's already been said a million times where I don't mind the emo shut-in Batman because, you know, I don't mind him not being able to properly compartmentalize his life to where he's Batman. You know, he doesn't want to be out in the public eye. He doesn't want to be like the Playboy Bruce Wayne. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. I think that's a cool twist.
Yeah.
The Riddler's awesome, though I still prefer the regular Edward Nygma Riddler. I wish that was his name and not the name that he portrayed, but that's fine.
Well, I
It's
think
not
just
that
the
big a deal.
world that they created, they wanted to make it so grounded that Edward Nygma is just such a weird. It's just a very.
Why?
I don't know. It's a very comic name. I don't know.
But you can still have the bullshit goofiness of names and whatnot and still have it be very grounded. Like, it's a possible thing to do.
Yeah.
So people like to forget, like, Batman, there's scenes of Batman wearing a rainbow fucking, you know, jumpsuit and all this wacky bat glider and the back shark propellant. All that shit happened before this. It does not taint the image or the idea of what this film
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, Gerald said it. Brandon Routh.
Yeah, Brandon
Is that
Routh
from
was
Superman Returns?
Superman Returns.
It's Superman
yeah.
Returns.
Excuse me, sorry. But
I thought he did a very good job.
yeah.
as Superman.
even Gordon. Damn it. Commissioner Gordon. Gotta play Commissioner Gordon in this movie. It's fucking awesome.
Well,
I like how it felt
he
like
wasn't Commissioner Gordon in this one.
he was. Yeah, was he Lieutenant Gordon at this time?
Gerald, we appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. Sorry for all the swearing.
No, yeah,
Dan
thank
can't be
you.
controlled.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I did it too.
But thank
do
you,
what I do.
man,
I'm sorry,
and
brother.
thank you
for
again
coming.
for being on the episode. And I'm excited for hopefully people are enjoying the episode today. Jeffrey
Yes,
Wright.
Jeffrey
Yes,
Wright was
I couldn't
great.
think of
Yeah.
his name. All I think of is Westworld with Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, there you go. And all I think, I like that it's about him being a detective more than anything else. The fight scenes are cool. There's some really good cinematography in this. There's some really good sound design where you'll hear him walk in his boots.
Oh,
And
that
it's like a psychological thing.
that
but then
scene of him
sometimes you
coming out of the that dark
The
alley in the
darkness.
beginning of the movie where
No.
like you just hear his footsteps and everybody's getting ready and he just comes out of the shot and you're like,
Dude, it's
let's
great.
go.
It's Batman, the Batmobile scene where he's like revving it up.
Oh, la.
Dude, it's so good.
Dan,
And,
I can't. Dan, stop talking, man. I can't get up right now. I
Right,
have to stay
right?
seated.
So you understand. So I'll get up. You
Talking about-
I need to watch the Batman again. Here's another
know,
4
me too.
hours or another 3 hours.
know.
Okay, jeez.
I
Now we're
know.
going up to 15.
There's so many. There's not very many movies that give me chills in multiple scenes, but this definitely is one. I'm a sound person. Like when you play on that, where you have to listen
Mhm.
and not use your eyeballs, I love it. Like, not your heartbeat. Stop it.
Keep going. Carry on.
Like I love that play on sound. Like,
Which is good.
Sound is beautiful in this movie.
And just everything was so well handled. The Penguin, all of it. It felt like a legit crime drama,
dude,
as it should.
finding out who the Penguin was played by.
I know,
like,
right?
what?
Like, excuse me?
And the fact that he's being nominated for an Oscar for a completely different movie too, like that. Colin Farrell has had a really good 2022.
But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. We've already, slobbed this movie's knob for a while. We did a podcast on it. Like, we couldn't shut up about
Slobbed this movie's knob.
Yeah, you gotta grease to that and give it a little bit of.
I mean, Batman's got to have some fun somewhere.
Yeah.
Had a lot of.
Basically, as long as he takes a shower, man, that stuff really seals in the flavor. Suit. Anyway.
Does he pee in his suit? Does he even pee?
Oh, surely he does. Or he's controlled his bladder to not allow him to do that or something. Anyway, but
Because I think.
my only complaint about just to venture off slightly, my only complaint about what's happening in the DCU is it's made me uninterested in the second Shazam movie.
Yes, all those other movies that are part of the DCEU, I'm like, to be honest, I watched the latest trailer for the new Shazam and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie. I love Lucy Liu and I love Helen Mirren, but they do not seem like very compelling villains to me. Like, I am kind of I just don't know how I feel about it.
Dude, the way the last one ended with the post-credit scene, the first one, all I want is... Oh, fuck, I blanked his name. The doctor. Damn it.
Dr. Zhivago?
Dr. Savannah. You were close. Dr. Savannah.
I was close.
You were very close. All I want is Dr. Savannah and fucking Mr. Mind. I want the worm that has to wear glasses and has a fucking talk box strapped around him. I want that as my villain. That's what I fucking want. I don't care about these gods. I don't give a shit. This is like feeling like a Thor movie at this point. Just don't. And I'm tired of fucking Love and Blunder. I don't want to see that shit either.
Yeah,
It was Blunder.
I want to see the talking fucking worm that has vision problems. That's what I want for my villain. What one?
Dr. Worm, whatever.
Oh, Dr. Worm by They Might Be Giants?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the one.
That's what
Anyway, that's what I want. But Batman is still my number one.
All right. Well, my number one is your guys' number two. My number one is Top Gun Maverick because this movie is fucking spectacular. It's visually just blows your mind. It burns your retinas. The fact that most of the jet scenes are practical. And you know what? Tom Cruise is great in this movie, but all the supporting characters are also great. Glenn Powell, who plays kind of like the Iceman of this movie, he's the dick of the group. He played Hangman.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
And he's in another movie where he plays a pilot that just came out. Has what the hell is the guy who's playing Kang?
Oh fuck, dude.
I can't think of his name right now. I'm blanking.
I know what you're talking about. Hang the Conqueror.
Yeah, but yeah, he was in another movie about pilots that's getting really good praise. But yeah, this movie is beautiful. And you know what? When you have a movie with the gorgeous Jennifer Connelly, I'm in because she's gorgeous. And and just everything about this movie, the aspect of just the fight scenes, the fact that we get more from this movie than we ever did from the original Top Gun. Because to be honest, when you're going into this movie, I know for me, going into Top Gun Maverick, I was like, I feel like it's probably going to just be more of the same. It's going to be kind of very similar to the way Top Gun was, but it's not at all.
I was thinking that too.
And the only gripe I have with Maverick, and it's stupid, is the fact they didn't use Ed Harris enough. Ed Harris was in the movie for like 20 seconds, and I was very disappointed. I wish, as much as I think John Hamm did a very good job as the very strict, commanding officer, I would have loved more Ed Harris. Also, another gripe I have with the movie is the fact that Tom Cruise survives the fucking the thing in the beginning. I was like, I don't know about that, but other than that, they're small gripes. Yeah. This movie is spectacular. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm gonna buy the 4K Blu-ray and watch it again, and I love it. And we all know Darren loves it too. They might be Giants name drop. I love you guys. I have to admit, the only reason I've seen Maverick so many times is because my wife keeps insisting on rewatching it, and I'm only too happy to oblige. She usually one on. I mean, that's the thing. If it's a rewatchable movie for me, it's gonna be on my list. So that is it. That is my number one, Top Gun Maverick. Do you guys have any honorable mentions? Do you guys have any like 6 through 10? Do you have anything? It doesn't have to be in order, but do you guys have any movies that like didn't make the list but like missed out by a little bit that we can talk about for a little bit?
I got a few.
Go for it. I don't.
I will say this though. When I think of Ed Harris, I always think of Abyss, The Rock, and him and Jude Law in Enemy at the Gates. Yeah,
and National Treasure 2, where he plays the villain.
Yeah, clamoring for National Treasure 2.
Oh, and he's in Westworld, which he was fantastic in the first 2 seasons of Westworld.
There you go.
She's only seen it 10 times. Only 10 times. Only.
And Darren, it's
we can talk about Darren's favorite movie of 2022.
We just did. We all did.
No, it's Jurassic World Dominion.
Yes, let's talk about Jurassic World Dominion. Probably one of the best. I
got another 3 hours to kill. Let's do it.
It missed out by no, it didn't. It was so far away. It was probably one of my. I watched a lot of. I don't want to say like I hated this. I mean, to be honest, Dominion I disliked very much. I don't want to be like, oh, I hated that movie. No, it was not a good movie in the slightest. There was some decent effects, and that was it. And cool, we got to see the original cast, and they did nothing. But yeah, we have a 3-hour podcast episode with the amazing Darren Lundberg of Nostalgia Cast, where we talked about it. Some people might not want to listen to it because I know people don't like to listen to podcasts about people who trash movies, but it was a great time. I don't care.
That one was
Jurassic World Dominion was definitely gotta go, guys. See ya.
It's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
But that's it was probably one of my least favorite movies of the year, and it was just so disappointing on how they ended that franchise. Well, but let's talk about
note of ones that didn't make the cut. I mentioned Violent Night, and then I mentioned Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night was like my 6th. Like it was gonna be there until I remembered about Dragon Ball Super. Oh God, I do not like. I mean, I'm sure we'll cover this.
Darren, we already have you signed up for whenever we cover Top Gun Maverick as a full episode, so you're already signed on for that. So, and your wife can join us if she wants.
She's seen it a lot.
She's probably just as knowledgeable as you.
Lightyear, I actually liked.
Which, to be honest, I feel like we are the very few that actually likes Lightyear, because Lightyear is on a lot of people's like worst of lists, and I'm like, oh boy, I enjoyed Lightyear. I thought it was a good time. I get where some people would say things were forced into it, but you know what, I went to the theater and had a good time with it.
We did too. We all watched it, and I know people had a cow over the kiss.
It was so nonchalant.
Which was, it's like me coming home and kissing him after I've been at work all day, or we've been at work all day.
Yeah, people just thought it was forced and unnecessary.
I didn't feel it at all. Like it wasn't even during like a.
Here it is. So So Wizard Podcast coming on in as we're talking about Lightyear. He's like just sitting around his couch like
I've been called.
Somebody's talking about Lightyear in a positive light. We need to go in.
Dude, the thing about Lightyear I enjoyed
love it so much. Lightyear was so bad I could feel the cells dying in my body. Listening to So Wizard Podcast episode on Lightyear kind of hurt me because I was like, man, I actually like this movie.
Well, I was gonna say
thank you for being here, even though we were talking about a movie you did not like.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesus Christ,
when it is a show or a movie that you're watching, you can feel when they have put that in forcefully. I didn't think they did it in Lightyear.
It's so done so nonchalantly. Like I said, like it's not even that big a deal.
I don't think
They
that was the
mentioned-
main issue. There was a lot of things that I think people just. It's not.
Dude, around here.
It's
around here. That was a big deal.
It was a lot slower than what Pixar is normally doing, and the fact is, like, was it necessary to make a Lightyear movie? No, it wasn't. We didn't need it, but it was. To be honest, we look at all the toys from Toy Story. Lightyear was probably the best toy you can make a full-length movie on. I enjoyed it. To be honest, I haven't watched it since it came on Disney Plus, and I mean, I have small children, so
you can't watch anything on Disney Plus.
Fuck Disney Plus.
Whatever. It
Disney
is what it
Plus
is.
I stand by that. It's
All
like I
right.
do for YouTube.
My number 6 was the Black Phone.
I had that written down for something that you
Thought this movie was great. I thought the child the child performances outdo some of the adult performances, you're like, fucking great. I mean, Ethan Hawke was fantastic in it. Of course, it was based on a Joe Hill story, Stephen King's son, and yeah, the performances were great. It was a little slow on certain parts, but the actress who plays Gwen was phenomenal. She was fantastic, and yeah, I definitely need to. And her sister was just in Megan. She played the little girl in Megan.
Oh, nice.
So didn't realize they were related. She was also in Haunting of Hill House. But yeah, that's my number 6.
Buzz Lightyear wasn't my number 6. It was just one that I mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but a 6 through 10, the Adam Project, I really enjoyed that.
That was that's just a movie I can't watch again. Like I watched it, I went, it was fine. And then like we did our episode on it, and I enjoyed it for what it was, because I enjoy Ryan Reynolds. I like the actor who played the younger version of him. I thought he was really funny, because he was very much like, you know, trying to act like Ryan Reynolds. And Mark Ruffalo, I felt like, was kind of just cruising through that movie. He wasn't really fully like Jennifer Garner. Yeah.
Like, didn't see her in forever. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing, lady?
But
I have a regret.
I kind of feel like
you have a
if they had
regret.
put different people in some of the cast, I think they could have done better.
Probably.
But for what we have watched, I don't think we've watched 10 movies that came out in 2022.
I mean, we put out a lot of episodes in 2022, just not. I mean, we only watched a handful of 2022. I mean, I watched a lot of movies from 2022.
Yeah.
Very off the wall movies that you guys probably did not watch.
I'm calling him out right now. If you do not watch Glass Onion with me, I'm watching it by myself.
Yeah, I need to see.
That's probably one of my top 10, probably closer to 10. But Glass Onion, a lot of fun. It's not as good for me. It wasn't as good as Knives Out. But man, everybody was just, it was a fucking wild ride, and the performances I thought were a lot of fun, and Daniel Craig just having the most absurd like Bayou accent.
I started watching it, and he's like, no. He's like, he comes down. He's like, what are you watching? And I was like, Glass Onion. He's like, I want to watch that with you. And I was like, click.
Yeah,
I want to say
we still haven't watched it.
We'll do it this weekend.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to ask you if you've ever. I mean, you guys. I know you guys never saw the Office, but there's an episode of The Office where Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell, decides he wants to do a murder mystery game at work, and so his thing was it's gonna be a murder in New Orleans, and so he literally, his accent sounds so much like Daniel Craig's accent from Knives Out and Glass Onion. It brought me back.
But yeah, I do have one regret for this year. One regret.
Name the regret.
That I didn't go watch Puss in Boots.
That is a regret for me too. I didn't go see it, and everybody is like,
how good it is.
Darren has mentioned it a lot on Twitter about how good that movie is, and to be honest, when I saw clips and stuff of it, the animation, I'm like, wow, they changed it drastically, and it looks awesome.
Reminds me of Spider-Verse.
And for some reason, I don't go see that, but I go see other movies that are
I know. I was talking about that. I was like, what our theaters got?
Hell,
Yeah, it's because it's not out on video yet, so it's like
$4.99 to
yeah.
rent.
I know that's how they do.
I do want to
Put the
mention,
brand
I want to put out there Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It is one of the few movies that I rated a 5-star on Letterboxd. It is, oh my God. I love stop motion. I love it so much. And it is so well done. It's a different take on the Pinocchio story. It's Guillermo del Toro. The voice acting is great. It doesn't have those unnecessary, like, song beats that don't need to be in it. And it destroys anything that Disney tried to do with their live action remake, because that Pinocchio live action remake from Disney was awful. It was awful. It was
I heard it was very
so bad.
Yeah. I want to see Megan, but I'll wait for video because I'm a coward.
Well, I guess I shout out Wakanda Forever. I really enjoyed Wakanda Forever. I thought it was a very solid sequel. I thought they did a very good job with, creating the story around, Chadwick Boseman's death and what they were able to do. The villain I thought was really well done. It was a really good time. One movie that disappointed me because it's a Disney animated film was Strange World. I just did not like that movie. It just did not do anything for me.
Sarah's watched that at school.
I just did not enjoy it. Megan, a lot of fun. Emancipation, the newest Will Smith movie that's on Apple TV right now. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. The way it was shot in like this, it was like a mix between black and white and like kind of a fading into color. It was, and Will Smith, I mean, listen, what he did, not cool, man. Like, it's just not, it was a very stupid thing to do. The man's a great actor though, and he shows it in this movie, and I don't think enough people are watching it. So please go check out Emancipation on Disney Plus.
Thank you, Darren.
It is dull. It is a very dull movie.
Dull as dishwater, eh?
Spirited,
Definitely
which was the Will
one.
Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds movie that came out on Apple TV Plus. It was like a retelling. It was kind of like a Christmas Carol retelling. It's a musical. Never thought I would be super into it, but was. Dan, or actually both of you, the Netflix movie called Troll.
Oh yeah, we liked it.
Oh, you guys saw? Okay,
But we watched it.
it's just
We watched it before you.
it's a rehash of Godzilla '98. It's all it is.
No, I disagree.
100%. I watched this movie going, I've seen this movie before.
I
enjoyed the
got different vibes from it.
animation.
They did a good job for a small studio. It has been greenlit for a second one. I would like to see more. I hope it's them fighting like a troll fighting other Norwegian legendary creatures, serpents, whatever it needs to be. But I enjoyed it. It's some harken back to some vibes I got from like 50s American giant monster movies. But yes, but it's not nothing crazy great. I just enjoyed it. Did not make anywhere near top 10, but I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Banshees of Inisherin, really well done movie. It's up for Oscars right now. Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, fantastic performances. Barbarian, definitely got to talk about that one. That one was a unique horror movie that I wasn't expecting, and I turned out to really like it. And also Terrifier 2. 2.5 hours. This movie did not need to be 2.5 hours, but my God, it does not stop from beginning to end. And the reason I like it so much, the practical effects, all practical effects, fantastic. It's over the top gore, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but they did it so well. And there's just some parts that make you so uncomfortable. But I don't know. I just needed to know what the hell was going to happen next. And the main actress, Lauren Lovera, was phenomenal. And for a movie of the budget that this has, to have a performance like that, I was like, wait, what? Because I know that Terrifier 1 had, they had similar effects, but the acting wasn't on par. So you could feel that it was a B movie, where this felt more than a B movie, even though the effects and the way it's shot give you that feel. But Lauren Rivera like kills it in this movie. I can't wait to see more stuff that she does.
Well, let's just bring up one we watched with Black Adam. It was okay.
Nope.
It was all right.
I did not like that movie.
That's fair.
Did you watch Smile?
Yes, I loved it. I really did. I enjoyed it. I don't want to say I loved it. I really liked it. I thought it was a good time.
I want to watch that, and I want to watch The Menu.
Oh, Menu's a lot of fun. That's on HBO Max right now. Yeah. Well,
there's so many that I want to watch.
Sick on Peacock was a good time. That came out last week. I had a good time with that. Weird, the Al Yankovic story was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but it's a lot of fun.
I mean, he has his own drum he walks to. So.
In a movie that I want to shout out because I just saw it last week on Shudder. It's a movie that I swear to God I had an idea about, and I had written it down in like a notebook when I was in high school. It's called Sorry About My Demon. Or Sorry About the Demon, where it's a guy who is tricked into moving into this house that is haunted by has a demon in it, and he ends up having to like try to figure out how to live his life with this demon, kind of just like an everyday basis. And it's just a wacky movie, and it was an idea that it was like similar to an idea I had in high school, where I was like, I've never seen a movie where it's like a person just having to like live a normal life, like having a kid, but instead of being a kid, it's a demon. It's a lot of fun. I thought it was a good time. It was like an hour and a half long. Couldn't complain. But that's about it. I saw a lot of other stuff, but those are the most notable ones.
Where they had to live with living people, the ghosts there.
Yeah, you notice at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, the others with Nicole Kidman. Yeah, that's a really good movie.
So good.
Twist.
Mm. All right, you guys have anything else you want to mention before we end this bitch?
I think so. Off the top of my head, no. I think we said all of our things that need to be said about this year. Some good movies.
Yeah, very much.
Can't wait for what 2023 has.
Yes,
watch our first movie in theater. Oh, good.
No, I'm excited about all the movies we're gonna watch this year.
We're gonna go watch our first movie of 2023 next year. Tomorrow. Sorry.
Next year? What are you going to see?
Year,
I'm going to see tomorrow after work.
Fuck no, on Sunday.
What are you going to see?
It's gonna be Sunday. I want to go see Puss in Boots. Our theater still has it, so I want to go see it. I forgot.
Well,
I was like, wait a minute, where am I in this?
I completely forgot. You don't normally work on a Saturday, so it just.
What's a month?
Well, thank you everybody for.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Puss in Boots tomorrow, Sunday.
There you
Sunday,
go. There you go. There you go.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for joining in the conversation. This was a lot of fun, as always. Thank you so much for getting us to 10,000 downloads on the show. It's just crazy that we've hit that number, and we can't wait to bring more amazing guests on the show. But here we're going to run down a little bit of what we're going to be doing the next couple weeks. Next week, we'll be releasing our Alien 3 episode. The week after that, we're going to be recording our Alien Resurrection episode on Sunday, which is going to be fun because I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. And then we're going to have a special guest on for episode 90. Let's see. I'm trying to think. 93. And we'll announce that on the recording, or we'll announce that on the Alien Resurrection episode. So stay tuned for that. But I'm very excited. We're going to be getting more guests. There's some amazing people in this chat that I want to bring back as guests. Of course, Darren's gonna be back. Shoning. I see So Wizard Podcast in there. We're gonna, they're not too far from me. So maybe one day I'll be able to meet them in person at one of the many cons they go to. But
We need to do that.
yes,
We're calling at some point. Yeah, probably.
I'm very excited. Make sure to check out every week. I am covering every episode of The Last of Us, the HBO show that just started a couple weeks ago. I'm very excited. We just released episode 2 with Allie from the Quad Pro Quo podcast. Next week, I think I have a guest in mind, and it was a person we were supposed to have on last week, and hopefully I'll get him on for this week for episode 3. But yeah, we're going through that whole thing. So if anyone here is interested in joining me for an episode, please let me know. And yeah, just it's been a lot of fun. Oh, one last thing. I want to just show off this really awesome DVD I got, The Ring. See how cool that is?
That's cool.
That's
It's a steel book, and it looks like a videotape, and it's so last year was the 20th anniversary of The Ring, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and we actually covered it in our first October of the show. So October of 2021, we covered The Ring, so make sure to go check that out, that episode. But I had to snag it. It was like $20, so
nice.
Yeah, so a lot of exciting things happening in the over the next month and for the rest of the year. So thank you all for all the support and love. We appreciate you very much. Make sure down in the description will be all of the links and stuff. You know, follow us on Dissect That Film on all of the social medias. And yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. We love you, and keep listening, because that makes me happy.
Yes, we appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been another episode of Dissect That Film Live. See y'all again next time. Bye-bye.
Deuces.